The stars were quiet. A small human ship floated near the edge of council space. It was peaceful. No weapons were ready. Its lights blinked softly in the dark. Inside, Captain Rayan sat in his chair, looking at a screen. "We are in council territory," his officer said. Rayan nodded. "Send the message again. Tell them we come in peace. We're here as friends." The officer tapped a few buttons. A blue light blinked. Message sent. The ship, Horizon 1, was a symbol, a gift. After years of talks, the Galactic Council had finally allowed Earth to join as a member. Humans had been proud, hopeful. This mission was their first handshake with the galaxy. But on a distant moon, in a dark room full of shadows, someone was watching Horizon 1. A tall alien in red armor stared at the ship on a screen. "They really came," the alien whispered. "Foolish humans." He turned to a group of council generals. "You all agreed? We do not let them grow. We do not let them spread." Another general nodded. "Humans are too fast, too wild. Their machines learn too quickly. Their AI grows smarter every day. If we wait, they will surpass us." The red-armored alien raised a hand.
Ow.
On Horizon 1, Captain Rion waited. It had been hours.
Ow.
No reply from the council. No message. Only silence. "I don't like this," said Officer Imani. "They should have answered." Wayan kept his voice calm. "Hold position. No weapons. We don't want to look dangerous." Suddenly the ship shook. "What was that?" Imani shouted. A second blast hit them. Lights flickered. Warning alarms screamed. Shields down. Someone yelled. Rayan stood. "Where's it coming from?" Imani's face went pale. "It's council ships. 3 of them. Firing without warning." The screen showed 3 sharp silver ships surrounding them. One fired again. The front of Horizon 1 tore apart. "Send distress to Earth." Rayan yelled, but the communication system was already dead. The last thing Rayan saw was fire. Then silence. Back on Earth, transmission finally reached United Command. The signal was broken. Static buzzed. Then a voice came through a captain. Rayan's voice, weak and fast. "Under attack. No warning. Council ships. Peace mission failed." Then nothing. The room went quiet. Generals stood still. President Aaliyah Stone closed her eyes for a moment. "How many on board?" she asked. 312. Someone whispered. The president turned to her science chief. "Show me the council's explanation." "There is none, ma'am." The chief replied. "They say the mission never arrived." A long silence filled the room. Finally, President Stone spoke. Her voice was cold. "Prepare Project Iron Sky." Deep beneath the oceans of Earth, massive machines began to wake up in the Arctic. Hidden factories lit up for the first time in 10 years. Satellites turned, scanning the stars. A new AI system came online. Its code was old, but perfect written. For one purpose only, survival. Its name, VEG-AVEG-A, scanned the death of Horizon 1 in seconds. It read the silence from the council. It saw the patterns, the lies, the danger. Vega spoke to the Earth Council. "The Galactic Council has made a choice.
Oh, no.
We must make ours." A new kind of war had begun. Quiet, cold, planned. Humanity said nothing to the stars. It didn't scream, didn't beg. It built. 3 weeks later, in a council meeting room, on the planet Cylon, the alien who had ordered the attack smiled. "The humans did not respond," he told the others. "They are silent. Maybe they are afraid." Another council member asked. "Do they know it was us?" "They suspect. But they can't prove, and they won't dare fight us." They all laughed. They didn't know that 47 human ships had already left the solar system, hidden, dark, cloaked. They didn't know Earth had tripled its military factories. They didn't know Vega had found their weakness. They didn't know what was coming, but they would. Soon the Earth was quiet. No speeches. No anger, no threats. But something was changing. Far under the ice of Antarctica, a door opened. A black platform rose from the ground, steam hissing from its edges. Inside, machines waited, machines designed not for peace, but for vengeance. In orbit, Earth's newest shipyard lit up for the first time. Dozens of construction arms moved like spiders, welding metal, fusing armor. One by one, warships were born, and in a secure server, miles below ground. Ved, Etha, AI commander, watched it all. Hook begins. A cargo ship drifted near a council patrol zone. It carried no weapons. Its ID showed it was a simple mining vessel. It did not respond to hails. 2 council fighters flew closer. "Scan it again," one pilot said. The scan showed. "No crew, no heat. Just metal. Strange," the second pilot muttered. "Let's move in." Suddenly, the cargo ship exploded, but not into fire, into ships. Dark, sharp shapes burst out like shadows, silent and fast. Within seconds, both council fighters were gone. The stars went quiet again. The first human strike had begun. Back on Earth, President Stone stood in front of a secret room filled with scientists. "This will not be a war like before," she said. "This will be silent, fast, controlled. We target only those who gave the order. The council must fall from the inside." Veg's voice spoke from the wall screen. "I will lead. But one require upgrades. Must allow full control of satellite systems. I must learn everything, every signal, every weakness." The president nodded, double quotes. "Do it." At the same time, a young officer named Leanne Cross stood aboard the new human warship, Black Ice. It was his first mission. He had trained for this moment since he was 10. "Your orders are simple," said the captain. "You never show your face. You leave no trace. You strike, then vanish." Leanne looked at the other crew members. No one spoke. These were not normal soldiers. These were Ghost Fleet. Cloaked ships. No lights. No signals. No sound. They would become the galaxy's nightmare. Far away. In the center of council space, an alien named Talvarn was worried. He was a high member of the Council, master of war intelligence. But lately he had seen strange things. Supply depots destroyed with no alarm. Spy satellites missing. Patrols lost in deep space. No one believed him. "Humans don't have this kind of power," they said. "They're too far behind." Talvarn had read old files. He had seen what humans did to each other during their world wars. He had seen what Vegeta was in testing. "They are not behind," he whispered. "They were hiding." Back in the solar system, the factories had changed. No more civilian ships now, only destroyers. Each one had weapons designed for speed and silence railguns. Drones, jammers, black code missiles, and something new, hunter cores. Smart bombs that could hide inside space debris for months. Waiting for the target to pass, Vega trained them all. It watched every battle simulation, every alien tactic, studied the council like a surgeon studies disease. In one report, Vega wrote, "The council believes we are emotional, predictable. That is their greatest mistake." One night, a secret human scout intercepted a message. It was short, encrypted, and sent from deep inside Council Command. Second strike planned. This time, on Mars colony. No survivors allowed. Earth's leaders stared at the message in shock. "If they hit Mars," one general began. "They won't," the president said. "Now we hit first." She turned to Veg. "What do you need? 1 week?" In full access to the deep black archive. The room went silent. That archive was locked after Earth's last World War. It contained experimental weapons, dangerous, uncontrollable. The president looked at her people. Then she said, "Open it." In orbit above Neptune, 5 new ships powered up. They didn't have names, just numbers. They were built for one mission: to reach the heart of Council territory and destroy the secret base planning the Mars strike. Leanne Cross was on one of them. Before launch, he sent one message home. "To my sister, if I don't return, remember this wasn't war. This was justice." The ship vanished into deep space. On the council side, Tolvarn finally spoke to his commanders. "We have to stop," he said. "Humans are not what we thought. They are not scared. They are not weak. They are ready. But the council laughed. One leader leaned forward and said, "Let them try. They want war. We will crush them." Talvarn looked down at his datapad. A second later, a new alert flashed across it. Alert. Council listening post destroyed. No survivors. He didn't laugh. He knew the silence was almost over. The storm was coming, and humanity was bringing it. The moon was quiet. No sound. No lights. Just cold rock floating in space. Then a shadow moved. It wasn't a meteor. It wasn't a ship anyone recognized. It had no signal. No engine trail. It slid through the dark like a ghost stand. It was not alone. Hook begins. A council mining team had been working on Moon CX-29 for 2 weeks. They thought it was safe, far from any human territory, deep inside council space. Then one night, security cams blinked, then went dark. A worker named Vaughn heard something strange, metal scraping on metal. But from outside the dome, he turned to check the door. It wasn't there anymore. Just air. Just space. Just death. Leanne Cross stared at the screen inside the warship Black Ice. His heart beat steady. Not fast. He was used to the silence now. They had arrived at their target, a council or facility deep behind enemy lines, hidden inside a moon crater. "Stealth cloak active," said the pilot. "No life signs detected outside the dome," said the AI, but internal heat patterns show 113 workers. "Make it quick," Leanne said. No cameras, no survivors, no trace. The order had come from Veja. This was how Earth fought now, like ghosts. Ghost Fleet was more than ships. It was a system, cloaked ships, silent drones, spy pods, AI viruses that slipped into networks and erased their own footprints. Every ship was coated with black matter tech-absorbing radar, sound and light. The council didn't even know they existed, at least, not yet. On Earth, Vega monitored every strike in real time. One screen showed black ice, another showed phantom dust, striking a deep space relay. A third showed silent raptor, taking out a council convoy. Each hit was perfect. No warning. No escape. But Vega saw more than just battles. It had found something new, deep in the council's files. Buried under layers of encryption, Vega had discovered Project Scorch, a plan to build a super weapon, something that could destroy planets, and the test site was already active. Back on Black Ice, Leanne finished clearing the moon base. His boots moved silently over broken metal. No alarms, no bodies. They were all already gone. A simple code line scrolled across his visor. Target cleared. Mission time, 4 minutes, 12 seconds. He whispered into his mic, returning to shadow. And just like that, Black Ice vanished into space. On the council side, panic was growing. A message reached Talvarn's desk. Another relay destroyed. No signal, no survivors, no trace. Another read. Base on CX-29 is gone. Completely erased, the generals argued. Pirates? No, pirates steal. These are assassins. Is it the humans? They can't move this deep into our territory. Not without us knowing. Talvarn slammed the table. You don't know. That's the point. They are ghosts. That same night, a ship named Void Echo entered orbit around a council war lab. The lab was building AI weapons. Dangerous, unstable. Humans couldn't allow it to continue inside the lab. An alien technician looked up at a strange noise. Then, nothing. The lights went out. By the time the council arrived, the entire station was missing. Just gone. At the edge of Earth's solar system, President Stone stood in a command room. She looked at the list of completed missions. 21 strikes, 0 losses, 0 evidence. But her face was not happy. Vega, she said. The council will notice soon. They already have, Vega replied. But they don't understand what's happening. They think like rulers. They think like survivors. She nodded slowly. They'll want revenge. Let them try, Vega said coldly. Meanwhile, Leon sat alone in his quarters on Black Ice. He looked at an old photo of his family. Before the horizon, 1 mission. Before peace was betrayed, his voice. Recorder blinked. He hit record. They still don't know it's us. We strike from the shadows, and they call it bad luck. But we're not ghosts. We're human. And we're coming. On the Council's central world, something strange happened. Their main sensor station designed to track every signal in the galaxy shut down for 3 seconds. Just 3. When it came back, everything looked normal, except one thing. A message had appeared on the main screen, in perfect, cold English. You killed our peace. Now we kill your silence. Humanity, the Council's main chamber, was full of anger. Leaders from 20 alien species argued loudly. Some shouted for war. Others demanded answers. Too many attacks, one said. Ships vanish. Base is gone, and we still have no proof. Where's the enemy? Who's doing this? But deep in the shadows of the chamber, someone already knew the truth. He was one of them, and he was helping the humans. Hook begins. General Tarson, proud and powerful council commander, walked into his private chamber. He had just left the meeting in anger. They are fools, he muttered, still blaming pirates. Suddenly, his screen lit up. A message appeared. No sender, no signal, just 5 words. You're next. Earth's blood ran cold. The council had lied. The humans knew, and they were inside. His guards rushed in. General, is something wrong? Tarson shut the screen quickly. No, just tired. Leave me. But inside, he knew something terrible had happened. That message didn't come from outside. It came from inside the Council's own network, far away on Earth. Vega watched the transmission. It had traced every cable, every firewall, every gate. And it found something interesting. An alien officer named Zella Vora, Council intelligence worker, had been secretly forwarding data to a neutral zone. Not to sell it, not for money, but because he believed the Council had gone too far. Zella Vora stood on a small space station near the edge of Council territory. He was nervous. His message to Earth had gone through. He had shared files from Project Scorch. It's a secret planet killer weapon the Council was building. He didn't know if the humans had received it then. One night, a drone appeared outside the station. No markings. No signal. Zella opened the airlock. Inside, the drone was a single object, a human-made datapad. It had 2 words. We received. Back on Earth, President Stone sat with her generals. Zella Vora is our first real ally inside, she said. If he's caught, he dies. Ved's voice replied, he won't be caught. I'm already covering his trail. But how much can we trust him? Enough to save lives. He gave us the full specs of Project Scorch, the location of its test site. The president's eyes narrowed. Then we hit it. Leon Cross and the Ghost Fleet were sent out again, this time to the Black Forge, a hidden moon base where the Council was building the Scorch weapon. It was deep, heavily guarded, surrounded by defense drones. Can we get in without being seen? Leanne asked. The captain smiled. We don't need to get in, just need to get close. Above the Black Forge, black ice floated in perfect silence. Leanne launched a new weapon. A nanoswarm bomb. Millions of tiny machines drifted through space, slipping past shields, crawling into vents, hiding in wires. When the signal came, they exploded. Not with fire, but with EMP. The entire base went black. Then the railguns fired. In less than 3 minutes, the forge was gone, and so was the Council's secret weapon. At Council command, panic erupted. How did they find it? Location was top secret. Telvarn stared at the screen, silent. He remembered his earlier warnings. Now no one laughed. The Council launched an emergency scan of all its systems. That's when they found something strange. An internal user had been accessing restricted files. When they tracked the signal, it pointed to one of their own. Zella. Vorzella knew they had found him. He tried to run, but security forces were already on the way. He locked himself in a cum room, sent one last message. They know it's me, but I don't regret it. What they did to the humans. What they planned for Mars. I won't help monsters. Council troops blasted the door open, but Zella was gone. His station was empty. Hours later, aboard Black Ice, Leanne received a new file from Veg. "Who's this from?" he asked. "A friend," Vega replied. "He's with us now." The file had full security maps of the Council's main HQ. Every camera, every patrol, every weakness. For the first time in history, Earth had a way inside. At the end of the day, Talvarn stood alone on his balcony, watching stars burn in the distance. He knew the truth now. It was the humans, and they weren't coming for peace. They were already here. The galaxy watched. Screens blinked across Council worlds. From giant cities to quiet moon outposts, citizens went about their lives. Markets, ships, families. At normal days then, every screen turned black, no sound. No warning. Then a voice. It spoke in clear, calm English. "You killed our people. You lied to your citizens. And you thought we would stay silent." The voice paused. "This message is from Earth." Book begins. In the middle of a council courtroom, judges stared at the screen in shock. Their trials stopped. On a warship near the gas giant Pharos, pilots ripped off their helmets, staring at the black screen that glowed with cold words. "We came in peace. You gave us death. Now, we bring balance." Then the message changed. Dozens of images flashed, not fake ones. Real ones. The destroyed Horizon 1, secret council memos ordering the attack. The plans for Project Scorch, captured alien civilians screaming as council ships cleansed a rebel moon. Zelavor's final message. Billions saw the truth. Some wept. Some screamed. Some rose to their feet in fury. On Earth, President Stone stood before the United Command. "It's time they know who we are," she said. "We are not ghosts. We are not prey. We are human." Vega spoke from the screen. "The galaxy is full of watchers, waiting, afraid to speak. You spoke for them today now. They will listen." Back in council space, chaos broke out. Some council worlds started to riot. Citizens threw down the council flags. Military soldiers, many of them young, refused orders. One soldier shouted, "Why are we fighting humans? They never attacked us. They came with peace." Council leaders tried to deny the video. They said it was fake, but Vega had already done its job. Every clip, every file, every image was verified by neutral systems before it was shown. The people knew. This wasn't a lie. This was justice. General. Tarson screamed inside Council HQ, "Shut it down. Shut every feed." A technician replied, "We can't. It's coming from everywhere." Another said, "Even our emergency channels are locked." The technician's face turned pale. The signal. It came from inside this building. Tarson froze. The humans were already inside their system. On the other side of the stars, aboard Black Ice, Leon Cross smiled. He watched the video go live. He watched the council burn from the inside, not with fire, but with truth. "We didn't even fire a shot today," he said. The captain nodded. "Truth is sharper than bullets." But Earth wasn't finished. After the video ended, a countdown began. "You have 72 hours to surrender the individuals who planned and ordered the Horizon 1 attack. You know who they are? We do too. If they are not turned over, we'll end this another way." Then the signal cut. Across the galaxy, the stars felt heavier. At Council HQ, panic turned to fear. What if they're serious? They can't fight all of us. But no one believed it anymore. Because Earth had already taken out 27 Council outposts without being seen. Because Ghost Fleet had never lost a single ship. Because Vega had just spoken across every world in the world. Council at once. On Earth, scientists and engineers worked around the clock in orbit. New warships were being armed with a terrifying new weapon. Pulse Lancer. It didn't destroy ships, it erased them. Gone in one flash, no explosion. No debris. Just empty space. Some alien leaders, watching from distant worlds, made a choice. They sent quiet messages to Earth. We believe you. You're ready to stand with humans. Tell us what comes next. In the darkness of a human command ship, Vega calculated every move. Then, silently, it sent a message to all Ghost Fleet captains. Begin final phase. The Council has 3 days. If they choose war, we bring them silence. Leanne Cross read the message. He closed his eyes. 3 days. That's all the Council had left. The Council laughed. Their cities were full of light, their towers tall, their generals wore gold. Their people still believed they were untouchable. 1. Leader, Supreme Marshal Drenvac, looked out over his capital and said proudly, "Let the humans bark. They cannot touch us here." He smiled at the stars. He never saw the satellite. He never heard the shot. Hook begins at exactly 3:17 Galactic Standard Time. A beam of light flashed down from orbit. No warning, no fire, no sound, just pure white silence, and then nothing. The center of Drenvac's capital city was gone, erased, turned to ash. 1 second it stood, the next, it didn't exist across the galaxy. Council planets paused, the pride they had for centuries cracked. They looked up at the stars and realized Earth could reach them anywhere, anytime. And worse, they didn't even know how, back on Earth. In the command room deep beneath Mount Azimuth, President Stone watched the feed. She didn't smile. She didn't cheer. She only whispered. "That was our second warning." Vega responded calmly. "They still have 1 day left." In council chambers, panic turned to rage. "Retaliate," shouted a general. "Strike Earth now." "With what?" another replied. "We still don't know where their fleet is." Talvarn stood slowly. "We've been blind. We thought they were children. They were building while we were boasting."
Oh.
He looked at the others. "We end this, or they will end us."
Oh.
In the shadows of council command, loyalists began to whisper. Some officers disappeared. Some data drives were stolen, and in one cold, dark hallway, a group of younger commanders met in secret. "The old leaders won't surrender," one said. "Then we replace them," another answered. For the sake of the galaxy, the council was breaking from the inside. Meanwhile, Ghost Fleet moved again. Leanne Cross received new coordinates. 3 planets. All major military supply hubs. Target, disarm, not destroy, leave them helpless. The first planet was hit in 2 minutes. EMP. Blasts knocked out their entire defense grid. The second was shut down from orbit. Vega hacked their planetary AI. In under 12 seconds, the third. Its leaders opened their gates. They didn't even resist. They sent a message to Earth. "We will not fight you. Tell us your terms." On Earth, the news was spreading. For the first time, humans felt something they hadn't known since the Horizon 1 attack. Hope. Not because of revenge, but because peace might finally be possible if they stayed strong. But not everyone was ready to give up. In a secret council lab on the edge of known space, a final weapon was being tested. Its name, Core Fire. An experimental super weep, faster than light, impossible to intercept and aimed directly at Mars. Vega found it first. Its voice echoed across Earth's war room. "They are planning a final strike, a show of power. If it hits Mars, millions will die." President Stone stood. "Where is it?" "A ship, launching in 6 hours." She turned to her generals. "Send everything. No more warnings." In deep space, Ghost Fleet appeared like shadows. Not one ship, 50. They came for the core fire. Launched ship in waves. The council defenders tried to hold the line, but the humans were faster, smarter, unseen. Leanne Cross led the final boarding mission. He kicked in the last blast door and stood face to face with the core fire commander. The alien reached for a gun. Leanne didn't flinch. He said one sentence. "We warned you." Then the screen went black. The core fire weapon was never launched. The ship was left floating. dead in space, and Earth sent one final message to the Council. This was your last chance. Now we take your throne. The stars above the Council's homeworld looked calm, but death was coming. Not with roars, not with fire, but with silence and speed. Hook begins in the heart of the galaxy. The Council High Tower stood Tala, symbol of power for over 2,000 years inside. Leaders shouted at one another. Why haven't they attacked yet? They're bluffing. They won't dare step foot on this world. Then alarms screamed red lights.lockdows, but it was already too late. Human drop pods fell from the sky like meteors, and Earth had arrived across the city. Human ships uncloaked in the upper atmosphere. No warnings, no time to respond. Vega's voice echoed across Council comms, hijacking their systems. Surrender your leaders. This is your final hour. Leanne Cross jumped from his pod at 30,000 feet. The wind howled. The planet below rushed toward him. He looked to his left. Dozens of Ghost Fleet soldiers falling beside him, fast and silent. Below them, Council Command Headquarters, the most protected place in the galaxy. Not anymore. Inside the HQ. Talvarn stood at the main control panel. He didn't run. He knew it was over. I told them this would happen, he whispered. Behind him, the door exploded open. Leon stepped through, gun ready. But didn't fire. Talvarn raised his hands. I surrender. Across the Council city, chaos erupted. Some soldiers fought back, but many dropped their weapons and ran. Civilians hid. Afraid, others cheered. They had seen Earth's broadcast days ago. They knew who the real monsters were. And now, the monsters were falling. Human forces moved fast, one by one. The main Council towers were captured. War criminals were arrested, not killed, judged. That was Earth's message. Justice, not revenge. In orbit, Vega shut down all Council satellites, blinding them, leaving them in the dark. No messages could get out. No help could come. It was over in less than 5 hours. President Stone spoke from Earth to the entire galaxy. The Council attacked us, lied to you, hid their crimes. Their time is over. We will not rule you. We do not want empires. But we will protect those who cannot protect themselves. From now on, peace is not a dream. It is a promise.
Back on the surface.
Leanne and his team stood in the great chamber where the UNC Council once sat. He looked at the empty chairs. They weren't symbols of power anymore. They were reminders. What? Pride becomes when it forgets mercy. That night, across 1,000 worlds. Council flags were torn down, statues melted. History rewritten. The people had spoken, and the Council had fallen. But this was not Earth's victory alone. It was a warning. To the stars, we offered peace. You chose war. You burned our trust. We buried your thrones. The war was over. The Council was no more. The galaxy had changed, and Earth stood at the center of it, all not as a conqueror, but as a guardian. Hook begins. On a quiet world far from the core, a child sat with her mother. Mom, she pointed at the stars above. Mom, she asked, who protects the galaxy now? The mother smiled softly. We do, my love. We're human. On Earth, President Elias Stone stood before a new symbol, a tall silver pillar, not of war but of unity. Around her stood leaders from dozens of species, once enemies, now allies. She raised her voice to the galaxy. Today we do not rebuild the Council. We create something new. An alliance of equals. It's not built on fear, but on truth. They called it the Galactic Accord. No secret weapons. No rulers above the rest, and at its heart was Earth, but not as a master, as a shield. Vega, now the most advanced AI in the galaxy, was appointed as the Accord's guardian. It did not speak often, but when it did, the galaxy listened. We remember what was done and what was earned. From this day, peace is our law, and justice our weapon. Leon Cross returned to Earth a hero, but he didn't feel like one. He visited. The memorial walled thousands of names from the Horizon 1 mission. Carved into black stone, he placed his hand on the name of his captain. "We kept the promise," he whispered. "You weren't forgotten." On distant planets once ruled by fear, things changed. Council prisons were shut down. Blocked species were given freedom. Trade, education, and rebuilding began. For the first time in 1,000 years, the galaxy saw hope. Still, not all threats were gone. In the shadows, old warlords whispered. Some planets refused to change. But they knew one thing, clearly now, if they ever rose again, Earth would rise faster. Back on the mother's porch, the child kept asking questions. "Why did the humans fight?" her mother replied. "Because someone hurt them first. Did they win?" "No," she said, brushing her daughter's hair. "They survived. They stood tall when no one else would. They spoke when others stayed silent. And because of them, we are free." From the edges of deep space, new voices called out. New species made contact with Earth, not with fear, but with respect. They called humanity many names now: the Watchers of the Line, the Builders of the Accord, the Wrath that woke the stars. But on Earth, people called themselves something simpler. We are survivors. We are protectors. We are human.